Hi, folks. This is December 8th, 2022. And, folks, a freighter carrying a load of red paint collided with a freighter carrying a load of purple paint. And at the last report, the crews of both ships were marooned. And that's why I'm wearing this costume today, so I could tell you the maroon joke. Well, I know that you know everything that I'm going to tell you, but it's just a case of we have to be reminded. You remind me, I remind you. That selfishness, egotism, me first, and bad thought, they don't exist. They have no existence. They're dead. Don't waste your time on them. They promise you things they can't deliver. Wealth, big home, big cars. They can't deliver those things. Happiness, fame. No. That's not where it is. So what you do is turn your back on them. And you don't give them any time. That's your precious commodity. You don't give them any life. That's your precious commodity. Are you going to have 94 years of it? They don't give them any of your energy. These are your three precious commodities. So what do you? You turn over here and you put all that time, life, and energy into helping others, into doing good things, into caring and sharing, into empathy and sympathy and companionship. And you do this all the time. And you notice after a while the great truth. You learn the great truth. The great truth. You know what it is, don't you? Love is God. You've always wanted a relationship with God. Now you have it. And furthermore, you know the substance of God. Oh, yeah? Really? How come, Glendora? Well, if love is God, if you know what love is, then you know what God is. Do you know what love is? I know you do. Ever since you were a baby in your mother's arms, you know what love is. And then you find out the wholeness of God. If this is a body, and if you cut off this hand and put this hand over here, is this hand going to exist without the body? No. And we're not going to exist without God. You think you can. You kid yourself. But don't try to kid us. You cannot exist without God. You cannot exist without love. Love is God. God is love. The truth. A wholeness of God. Now, you've always wanted a relationship with God, but you couldn't get it because God was so big. You couldn't get your arms around God. But now you can. Why? Because you're helping others. When all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did we treat others. You know that. It's just a reminder. You know it. You've always known it. And our prayer is, I want myself and everybody I know to be the best we can be. I want myself and everybody I know to be the best we can be. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. And then you learn the allness of God. There's no other power. There's no other power. That's the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. That is the first commandment. There's no other power but God. Don't tell me you think the devil has any power. The devil doesn't exist. If the devil does exist, then just ignore it. Turn your back on it. You don't have to think of it. You don't have to listen to it. You're free and strong. You can think what you want to think. Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad except the mind make it so. Now, we've got the truth. God is love and love is God. The wholeness of God, the onlyness of God, and the allness of God. You know what that means? Stop and think. If God is everything there is and you exist, then what? Right. You have to be Son of God. And when I talk to you, I have to talk to you with the utmost respect and love and care, because you are Son of God. And we're one with God. Now listen, not only do we have the oneness with God, but we have the oneness with one another. You and I are one. I don't like to think of God as anything but continuous. I'd like to think of God as being continuous. That you have an area here, you have an area here, and these areas might touch each other. And you look over at this area here, a friend of yours, and that friend can do all kinds of things that you can't do. And your friend looks at you and you can do all kinds of things that your friend can't do. What's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. It's a very complex universe. And it takes a lot of skill and mind to run it. And we have to be differentiated. Remember going on when we were on the David Letterman show? You remember that? Back in 1987? And David Letterman says, you do what? I said, you find the thing that you can do better than anybody else. And you do it. And David, if you don't do it, it's going to negate you. Oh, he said. He's a superb interviewer, David Letterman. The best there is. He can make anybody look good. All right.
Hey, Glendora.
Yeah.
When we post this to YouTube, I can put in the description a link to the interview you have with David Letterman. So if people are watching this and want to see it.
Oh, that's good. Are you off camera now?
No, we're on camera. They're hearing us.
Oh, so Phil, on camera then. Yes, please do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be great. Now, where were we? So you had the oneness with each other, but you got this oneness with God. And what do you realize all of a sudden? That every one of us has a job to do with God. And that job is creativity. And the operation of what has been created. So that you and all the people you love, you have one job to do. Keep the universe. Make the universe go and grow and glow. And then we're happy. If you don't do it, you're not going to be happy. And the last one is the goodness of God. The greatness of God. The bigness of God. The allness of God. The happiness of God. The joy of God. And then just remember these two things. Never lie, steal, or cheat. Don't sell a piece of your soul. Never lie, steal, or cheat. And go vegan. Be kind. Be kind to those dear animals. That's all they want, is to you to be a brother and a sister to them. Be kind to them. Be kind. Give them all you can. And they want to give you all they can too. It's so nice. Go vegan. Phil, would you pause the camera?
Yep.
Now, Phil wants to tell you about something that he likes.
She's very modest. She didn't want me to bring this up, but I think it was really awesome. Glendora normally calls me or somebody else to write down a to-do list in the morning for me when I come in. 2 days ago, she wrote her own. She wrote her own on lined paper, and almost every single one of them was perfectly within the lines.
Really?
Yeah. And she used an ingenious method, a comb, to keep herself even as she went down the page. And she's done it again today. To-do list. And not only did she write it on her own, it was legible. And she found a new way.
Yes, you put this down on the paper and you let the pen go along here. Now look, folks, you flip it over and now you got a new space, and you know that you've got space behind the top space, and you write it down. You flip it over. And Phil said most of it was legible.
Mm-hmm.
I can do my own to-do list.
Yeah.
Phil, thank you for bringing that up to the folks, and I hope it helps them.
I thought it was very encouraging to see that you had done that, and maybe some other people will be encouraged and think,
Yeah.
I'll do something think I haven't done in a while.
Yeah. You said you heard good news this morning on the radio. What was it?
Yeah. Well, two actually. One was in Schenectady, the police were able to get a man out of a burning house.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Hypotheticals abound with those. You know, would you
Oh.
run into a burning house and save this person or this? And you know what? They saved him. They pulled a man out of the burning house. That was wonderful.
Mm.
Hopefully he didn't cause it, though. And the other great news was, coming from Russia, Brittany Griner is a basketball player, an American basketball player, and she has been in prison there since just before the beginning of the war in Ukraine. And she has been used as a political pawn to bargain for a Russian prisoner. And this poor woman who just wants to play basketball and get out of Russia, she's coming home.
Hooray!
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic news.
And then what about gasoline, Phil?
Gasoline prices are down almost 50 cents in just 1 month. That's really great. Normally it goes up quick and comes down very slowly.
Very good.
Looks like it's coming down pretty quick too.
The lawyer says, I'll take your case on a retainer basis. That'll be $3,000, and it entitles you to 2 questions. And the client said, two questions, $3,000? Isn't that expensive? And the lawyer says, what's your second question? What else do we have to joyous things do we have to tell our friends that we love?
Let's see.
Well, this is program number 14,165, Phil.
It's a good question. I know we're in that range. Yeah, that might be, yeah.
And anything else on our list to tell everybody? Oh, I know, you're going to tell us some jokes.
Yeah, but I was thinking we could tell about the squirrel.
Oh, the squirrel is outside the window, and he's up on his haunches holding his peanut. Oh, that's the cutest thing.
We've been giving him...
what I see about animals, just love them.
Mm-hmm.
Just love them.
And he does like unsalted peanuts. You know. All right.
And Phil, did you know 2 peanuts were walking down the street and one called the police? Do you know why?
Why?
He was assaulted.
Olivia said my son had to leave a promising career because of falling arches. Was he an athlete? Mary asked. No, he was an architect.
Tell me the beginning, honey, and I think I can remember it. What's the next one?
The next one? Springtime is when the economy wrestles with 3 major surpluses.
3 major surpluses?
Yep.
Corn, wheat, and Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, yes. Pete says he buys sweet chariot stocks.
As soon as he buys them, they swing low.
Paul said he could be a rich man today.
But he thought FedEx was a fly-by-night company.
One broker told the truth. You'd be surprised how many people drive to my office in a Lincoln
and ask, with a chauffeur, and ask for advice from a guy who came to work on the subway.
Harry asked a neighbor who was a big executive in a financial district office,
What's the latest dope on Wall Street? My son Irving. He just started to work for the company.
Harry says his stockbroker gets sentimental at Christmas.
He hangs mistletoe on the door so his clients can kiss their money goodbye.
Vacation time is when millions of Americans go beyond the Rubik's Cube and accept the ultimate challenge.
The roadmap?
Yeah. I listened to a podcast about Rubik's Cube just yesterday. It was invented by a Hungarian. Diane said, Mom, this Sunday school teacher said we come from dust and will return to dust.
Is that true? She said, yes, that's true. And then what did she say? Well, what about it?
I just looked under the couch and somebody is either coming or going.
A good one, Phil. Did you get that one, folks? The little girl says, Mommy, is it true we come from dust and return to dust? Yes. Why? Then what did the little girl say?
I just looked under the couch and somebody is either coming or going. Dick
got some more?
Oh yeah, Dick is honest, his mother-in-law says. On his 1040 form.
Oh, he reported his interest, his money is unearned.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, unearned income. He reported his income as unearned. Excuse me, folks.
A famous author was asked, which of your words do you consider your best piece of fiction?
My income tax.
Income tax time is the time of the year when people who are poor wish they were rich.
So they didn't have to pay taxes.
By April 15th, 60 million tax forms will have been filed.
That doesn't count how many that will be chiseled.
Sid was asked to name one person who had money left over after April 15th.
H&R Block.
It's hard to believe this country was founded partly to avoid taxes. Oh boy.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Dorothy said she went to a teenage wedding last week.
What, dear?
Dorothy said she went to a teenage wedding last week.
And 3/4 of the presents were made by Mattel.
Yeah. Bob said that TV is very educational.
It puts the children of the TV repairmen through college.
Yeah. Arthur comes from such a rich family.
Oh, they bought a boy for the dog.
Whereas Anthony came from such a bad neighborhood.
That the Good Humor Man came around in an iron truck.
Yep.
What do you call it? What's those trucks? An armored truck?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the neighborhood is so bad, folks, that the Good Humor Man came around in an armored truck.
Did you hear about the Undertaker who closes all his letters?
Tell me.
Eventually yours.
How does he close them?
Eventually yours. And a striker had a picket sign. Time heals all wounds.
And what did the second picketer say?
Time and a half does it better. That was great.
Well, that's good enough. We did a good job on jokes, didn't we, folks? Yeah. Okay. You got some vocab?
Yep.
Hey, Google, what's a good Bible passage?
Say, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. Do you want a little more context?
Yes, please.
Sure. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Google.
All right.
Oh, that was beautiful. Now you take the word God and you put in the word love, and you see what sense that makes?
Adverse.
What'd you say, darling?
Oh, adverse.
Oh, adverse, in a contrary direction?
Yep. Advise.
To recommend a course of action?
Yep. Advocate.
You know something, Phil?
Yeah?
I want you to know that the advice I give people is excellent. They never come back for more.
Advocate.
An advocate, that's somebody who pleads a cause of action for another?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one is interesting.
What, illegible, huh?
Yeah. I'll ask Amy next time I see her.
Again?
I'll ask Amy next time I see her. Aesthete. Aesthete. This is a difficult one to pronounce. Aesthete.
Oh, an aesthete?
Yes.
Oh, that's a person who thinks much of the beautiful.
Yeah. Affable.
Or maybe too much. Affable. You like that one, Phil. Tell us what that is.
Easy to speak to and communicate in response to another's advice.
Say it again, Phil. I
Or
like
something
those.
else. Okay. Easy, affable, easy to speak to.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's a nice way to be. You're affable, Phil.
Thank you.
And you believe in being affable, don't you?
Yes.
It's one of his favorite words. All right. Anything else, pal?
How about another one of my favorite words? We brought this list out. I told you two of my favorite words are on it. Affectation.
Affectation is pretending something that is not really so. So you give it to me, Phil.
Attempting to exhibit what is not real or natural.
Again. Affectation.
Attempt to exhibit what is not real or natural.
And you don't believe in that, do you? Yeah, good. Well, let's see. What else did we do? We did the words. We did the Bible passage. We did the vocabulary. We did the jokes. How about a hymn? A hymn?
Sure.
Is there any... I'll save the hymn for the end because it's a goodbye hymn.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to tell the folks? I think that I've emptied my folder.
Yeah. We covered quite a lot today.
Anything else, Phil? Don't you want to tell the folks how Phil's going to start a new business? And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful service that he's offering. Do you mind telling them, folks?
I think we should tell them on Tuesday, Soul to Soul, once we've got the paperwork in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're both going to do a DBA, doing business. What's it called? What's DBA stand for?
Doing business as?
Oh, doing business as. And Tracy, Phil's going to take me to the bank, and Tracy will notarize my paper. And if it's notarized, I don't have to go into the county clerk. And when Phil takes his into the county clerk, he's going to take mine. Right, Phil?
Yep.
Anything else to tell the folks?
I think we're good.
Okay. Then here we are. This is a lovely hymn. It has beautiful phrases in it that are think phrases. If you think them through the day, they keep you on track. Okay, here we go. Do, re, mi, fa. Lord, dismiss us with thy blessing. Fill our hearts with joy and peace. Let us each thy love possessing. Triumph in redeeming grace. Oh, refresh us, traveling through this universe.